Oh my goodness. What the hell did I witness? Shawn Michaels, you delivered here in Lowell, Massachusetts? You're just the GOAT, man. You're the GOAT! Hello, my NXT fans. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So yesterday I watched an NXT Battleground, and boy, oh boy, that show was amazing. Like I said in the intro, Shawn Michaels delivered. And here's my thoughts on what I thought of NXT Battleground. And were you there at Lowell, Massachusetts? And were you at the Science Center? Let me know in the comments down below so that I know. But anyways, here's what I thought of the matches. And to tell you everything, here is my text-to-speech to tell you all about it. Eric?
Thank you, Chris. WWE NXT presented another big night emanating from the Tsonga Center in Lowell, Massachusetts. NXT Battleground would see the end of the rivalry between Bron Breakker and Carmelo Hayes, as well as the crowning of a new NXT Women's Champion. Breakker's perspective changed when he lost the NXT Championship to Carmelo Hayes. He refused to give the champion his grace, setting up a massive grudge match between the two young stars. Tiffany Stratton and Lyra Valkyria pulled off some upset victories on their way to the finals of the NXT Women's Championship tournament. They would fight for the first time ever for the gold. Wesley faced his toughest fight yet to defend the NXT North American Championship in the conniving Joe Gacy and unpredictable Tyler Bate. NXT North American Championship, Wesley C. versus Joe Gacy versus Tyler Bate in the ring. Gacy drops Bate down to the mat and Lee breaks the count, but Lee then leaps over the top rope and looks for a pinfall on Gacy while he German suplexes Bate at the same time. The champion then almost catches Bate out with a pinfall attempt, but he is able to kick out. Bate turns around the momentum and ends up suplexing his opponents around the ring as Gacy is then hit with bop and bang before Bate spins Gacy around, only to then add Lee to the mix by swinging him at the same time. Immediately all three men go back and forth with some pinfall attempts, but then Tyler Bate and Wesley agree to work together, only for Bate to then not help. However, they do work together and send Joe Gacy out of the ring, and they follow him and continue the attack. The two of them pull each other back out of the ring though, and they then start brawling outside the ring until Gacy launches himself out of the ring to wipe both of them out. There is little left for Lee to prove with the title. However, it is still crucial the right man dethrones the NXT North American Champion. The moment cannot be rushed. Result: Lee def Gacy and Bate by pinfall to retain the NXT North American Championship. Heritage Cup, Nomdar, C. versus Dragon Lee. Nomdar got the first pinfall of the match by stacking up Dragon Lee off the roundhouse kick. Dragon Lee responded with tilt-a-whirl DDT. Miss Jackson and Lash Legend saved the Scottish Supernova, setting him for the Nova Roller on Lee to win. Dragon and Dart went all out in this one, and it did not always land. There were multiple sloppy spills that could have injured both men. The chemistry was not quite there. The rules of the match type were clear enough that it did not distract from the action, though the rounds format is inherently tough to pace out. Ultimately, it was the overbooking around the ring that made this less than the sum of its parts. These two could probably do better work together in a rematch. Dar seemingly has a new stable with Mansa, Legend and Jackson. Hopefully, NXT has a clear plan for this oddly orchestrated group. Dragon lost more momentum for it, so it needs to be worth it. Result: Dar def Dragon by a final score of 2-1 to retain the Heritage Cup. Last man standing, Ilja Dragunov versus Dijak. Dijak punished Ilja Dragunov throughout this match. The Tsar countered by landing explosive blows in response. In the end, Dragunov knocked out Hard Justice with a jumping forearm strike off the steel steps to the back of Dijak's head through a steel chair. While the build for the feud was over the top, this was easily the match to watch going into the night. The two men delivered on that hype with the fast-paced hardcore war. This was about as brutal and physical as WWE matches can get. This was genuinely one of the best matches WWE has produced all year, and it is by far NXT's match of the year so far. Both of these men are main roster stars that should get title runs soon, since the call-up is unlikely in the near future. Carmelo Hayes or Wesley versus Ilja Dragunov at the next NXT PLE would be the show stealer. Result: Dragunov def Dijak by 10 count. Wow, that match was so good. Anyways, next match. NXT Tag Team Championships. Gallus, C. versus the Creed Brothers. After an intense tag team war, Ivy Nile stopped Joe Coffey from interfering, but Ava sent Nile into the steel post for it. Gallus then hit Julius Gred with Gallus Gate to win. This was a fine match with a strong 3-minute burst of energy near the end. It started slow, but it exploded when Julius got the hot tag. The interference was a lame end to a match that was set up as the definitive battle between Gallus and the Creed brothers. Ivy Nile vs. Ava is a solid feud to build both women, except when it interferes with other matches. Once again, Wolfgang and Mark Coffey keep the NXT Tag Team Championships. This time, though, there is a clear follow-up match once Tony D'Angelo has dealt with his legal troubles. The family could be the team to end Gallus' reign. Result: Gallus def the Creed brothers by pinfall to retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. NXT Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton vs. Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria fought hard through a knee injury suffered at the hands of Cora Jade on Wednesday. However, the center of the universe was too much, and finally planted her with the rolling fireman's carry into the prettiest moonsault ever to win. In one of the longest women's matches NXT has produced in years, Valkyria and Stratton performed at their absolute best. Valkyria did some serious work in this match, selling her knee injury. She sold a crowd that was much more behind Stratton going in. This was a star-making moment for her, even more than Stratton as the underdog walking in. The center of the universe stepped back in moments to let her opponent shine. Though she could have done more to sell her role as the heel. Both women still have room to grow as performers. However, they absolutely over-delivered in the biggest moment of both their careers. This is a match to revisit as these two grow in NXT. Result: Stratton def Valkyria by pinfall to become the new NXT Women's Champion. Alright everyone, I might as well make this you reference its main event time. NXT Championship. Carmelo Hayes, C. versus Braun Breaker. Carmelo Hayes had trouble keeping Braun Breaker down throughout this match, but he finally found his opening. A series of super kicks into a springboard back elbow set up nothing but net to win. Breaker is a proven power wrestler, but still struggles to deliver in these big main event spots. He and Melo had a hot crowd and a better story to tell. This did make round 2 better than round 1. However, it still was not the hoped-for showstopper. The offense of both men does not clash. This led to multiple flat sequences where the champion was pushing too hard to get in position for a big moment. Hayes needs to move on to the top tier in-ring workers to deliver the main events for NXT that will get the brand on the map long-term. The options are endless though. Breaker's time in NXT may be nearing its end regardless of the WWE draft results. He needs a different stage and level of competition to truly test whether he is a top guy long-term. Result: Melo def Breaker by pinfall to retain the NXT Championship. Well, there's your review for NXT Battleground. Back to you.
Thank you, Eric. Wow. NXT Battleground was a lit show. So, here's how I would rate. The review is in. NXT Battleground gets a 1,000 out of 100, meaning it was a great show here in Lowell. And maybe, did it beat AEW Double or Nothing? Let me know in the comments down below. Well, guys, that's a wrap of this video. I want to thank y'all so much for taking time watching this NXT Battleground review. Special thank you to WWE and NXT for bringing this amazing premium live event to Lowell, Massachusetts. It was deeply an honor to watch it at home in my city. And most importantly, thank you, Shawn Michaels, for delivering. You are the man. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, my friends, and go Riverhawks. We are NXT. Don't tell me that you own me. Own me. Say I'm not a yours, can control, but I'm not.
That is not your song!